And they're off. Off and running in the Tattersalls Gold Cup, and Negotiate is the leader with, on the outside, pushed up Windsor Palace now taking over. Break of 3 lengths or so then to Camelot, and a similar margin back then to Al Kazeem as the 4 runners make their way down the far side. Windsor Palace and Shamey Heffernan move through to pick it up from Negotiate. Kevin Manning, Camelot's racing third, followed by Al Kazeem, as they race now to begin the run past the mile pole and begin to make the climb uphill to the top of the hill. And in front, Windsor Palace, Shamey Heffernan striding along, 3 in front. Negotiate, Kevin Manning, followed by Camelot and Joseph O'Brien, with Al Kazeem and James Doyle. The back marker of the quartet beginning the climb, taking them up towards the 6 mark. Little change, Windsor Palace bowling along, 3 in front. Negotiate, followed by Camelot and Al Kazeem. Now beginning to pass the 6 and race across the tops, just about to make the descent for the turn into the straight. Windsor Palace, Negotiate, Camelot and Al Kazeem. So now beginning to make the downhill run. Windsor Palace, a couple of lengths clear of Negotiate. They're being tracked by Camelot, and a further 2.5 lengths to Al Kazeem. The 4 runners race now to the half-mile pole and make the entrance towards the straight in the Tattersalls Gold Cup, where the leader is Windsor Palace, swinging in front of Negotiate, Camelot and Al Kazeem. No change from the drop of the flag now as they come to swing in. Windsor Palace the leader, followed by Negotiate. Camelot is tracked by Al Kazeem. Straightening up for home now with a little over 2 to go. Windsor Palace, Negotiate, now Camelot and Al Kazeem on the outside make headway. Beginning now to race with a furlong and a half to go, and Camelot comes through in the centre to pick it up. Al Kazeem producing a run now towards the outside for James Doyle, and ranges up alongside. They're racing down now to the final 150 yards. Camelot pressed on the near side by Al Kazeem. They're racing inside the final 150 yards, and Al Kazeem and James Doyle are going to turn over Camelot in the Tattersalls Gold Cup.
They're off and racing. Feature race on day 2, the Prince of Wales's Stakes, and early on, Miblish from rousted along Windsor Palace is in there to make the pace, but has now found himself rather snookered behind the leader early on, and Mukadram is going to cross over and cut out the early running. So Mukadram it is who leads from, in second place, Side Glance, who manoeuvres over from that outside gate. Miblish, having jumped well, is restrained to track the pace in third, with Al Kazeem in fourth as they string out. Afzari races in fifth, just ahead of Camelot, who is in midfield at this stage. They're being tracked through by the rather keen Maxios on the outside of Windsor Palace, who finds himself towards the back of the field, and still towards the rear, the Fugue in company with Red Caddo and St. Bartolino crossed behind the field from that wide out gate as they continue their steady climb uphill. So Mukadram cutting out the running it is, who shows the way at what looks a reasonable pace, the first 3 having an advantage of 3 lengths over the pursuers. In second place at this stage is Side Glance on the outside of Miblish, with this gap of 3 to 4 lengths to Al Kazeem in fourth place. A length to Afzari, Camelot in sixth place at this stage ahead of Maxios, Windsor Palace, the Fugue, Red Caddo, and last of all the blue jacket of St. Baudolino. Continue their progress uphill, entering now the final half mile. Mukadram in the blue and white leads by over a length from Side Glance. Miblish is half a length away. 2 lengths to Al Kazeem from Afzari and Camelot in sixth place. Maxios comes next from Windsor Palace, the pink jacket of the Fugue, then Red Caddo and St. Baudolino. The bell tolls them back towards home. Mukadram, an aggressive ride here, has got a break of 3 lengths or so. Al Kazeem is first to pursue the leader with Side Glance. Camelot being wound up towards the outside, passing the 2. Mukadram and Paul Hannigan still have a break here. It's a good 3 to 4 lengths. Al Kazeem, Camelot, then Miblish, Afzari, the Fugue from a long way back. Mukadram nibbling away at the advantage. Al Kazeem, they're clear of Camelot. Mukadram still in front. Al Kazeem is edging closer all the way to the line. Al Kazeem drawing alongside Mukadram. Al Kazeem, Mukadram, no more to give, and Al Kazeem gets up to win the Prince of Wales's.
And they're off for the Coral-Eclipse. On the inside, Mukadram has taken the early lead, and Al Kazeem, who broke very alertly, goes with him, only just a half length away, racing in second, but little pace on in the early stages. Now, Mars begins to make his presence felt towards the outside of Mukadram, and Mukadram has a lead of 3 parts of a length. Now a length to Mars racing in second, and Al Kazeem a further length and a half away in third. Declaration of War making a little bit of a move on the outside of Al Kazeem, followed by the Fugue, who's racing generously towards the outside of Pastorius. Another one who's taking a keen hold early with Miblish towards the inside rail. They go go inside the final 3/4 of a mile. The 2013 running of the Coral-Eclipse. And Mukadram has got an easy lead here by a length and a tail. Mars, the 3-year-old, racing in second. Al-Kazeem, the blue and white diamonds, to the inside in third. Followed out wide by Declaration of War in a very close fourth. 3 wide going into the turn is the filly, the Fugue. Pastorius now shuffled back towards the rear of the field. He's now last, and Miblish hugs that inside rail. The whole field covered by only 3.5 lengths as they now make the turn with just over a half mile to go in the Coral-Eclipse. Mars towards the outside of Mukadram. These are still the first two, followed by Al-Kazeem, and Declaration of War has always been his shadow. Miblish towards the inside rail. The Fugue keeping Pastorius in a pocket as they race inside the final 3. And now Mukadram presses on. He has Mars being ridden in second. Al-Kazeem looks for a scene between horses. Then Declaration of War out wide. Mukadram inside the final quarter mile. Still has the lead in the Coral-Eclipse. But here comes Al-Kazeem. Mars and Declaration of War. The Fugue has not fired today. Now towards the final furlong. Mukadram is digging gamely to the inside rail. Al-Kazeem on all-out drive. They've got 150 yards to go. Al-Kazeem has got the lead from James Doyle. Back in second is Mukadram. Declaration of War begins to fly. They've got now 50 yards to go. And Al-Kazeem wins the Coral-Eclipse. Declaration of War was second. Mukadram in third. Mars was fourth. Miblish fifth. Pastorius sixth. And the Fugue seventh. But it was Al-Kazeem for 3 straight Grade 1 wins, taking the Coral-Eclipse.
And they're off and racing for the Kipco Champion Stakes, and early on Noble Mission is encouraged into the lead. Keep an eye on Cirrus de Zegler from wider out. Christophe Soumillon is pressing forward, just trying to get behind Al-Kazeem early on. Pether's Moon and Ruler of the World just trying to hold Cirrus de Zegler deep. Sheikh Zayed Road is off the back end. So as they prepare already to swing at the far end of the racecourse, Noble Mission leads by a length from Al-Kazeem. Cirrus de Zegler has a little bit of cover on the outside with Ruler of the World in third place, just ahead of Cirrus de Zegler. Then Pether's Moon. On the rails is Free Eagle early on, ahead of Western Hymn. Then Arad, and Sheikh Zayed Road is at the rear of the field. So they're already swinging right-handed. 3 furlongs behind them. Noble Mission stretching on out in front from Ruler of the World, to dispute second place with Al-Kazeem. Cirrus de Zegler still held 3 wide with Free Eagle up the rails, and between the pair Pether's Moon. Arad comes next alongside Western Hymn as they pass the 6, with Sheikh Zayed Road at the tail of the field. So it's Noble Mission leading by just over a length or so from Ruler of the World, and then in third place on the outside Al-Kazeem. Cirrus de Zegler making a little bit of ground, but is still wide on the track from Pether's Moon, then Free Eagle. Behind these Western Hymn, then Arad and Sheikh Zayed Road. Noble Mission still racing exuberantly on the front end as they enter the final half mile. Al-Kazeem and Ruler of the World poised. Cirrus de Zegler circles them. Free Eagle on the rails with Pether's Moon. Western Hymn tries to improve. Noble Mission bidding to emulate Frankel, passes the 3 out in front. Ruler of the World is pushed along. Al-Kazeem travelling really strongly. Cirrus de Zegler under quite a bit of pressure. Pether's Moon's path was blocked, then Free Eagle. It is out in front, Noble Mission, with Al-Kazeem hunting down the leader. Cirrus de Zegler's paddling back in the field. Free Eagle trying to get organised and launch a challenge at the front pair. Noble Mission on the far side. Al-Kazeem on the near side. Free Eagle is trying to bridge the gap. Has 3 lengths to find. Noble Mission digging in. Al-Kazeem drawing alongside. Head for head. The Champion Stakes in the balance. Noble Mission clinging on narrowly. Noble Mission from Al-Kazeem. All out. Noble Mission. Noble Mission has won the Champion Stakes. A punch of the air. Lady Cecil and James Doyle, Frankel's full brother, follows in his hoofprints. Al-Kazeem in second place. Free Eagle third. Behind these Western Hymn, Sheikh Zayed Road, and today, just not the day for Cirrus de Zegler.
In the company of Des Scahill, it's the Tattersalls Gold Cup.
All appear in. And they're off. As they leave the stalls and make their way in the early stages, Postponed is taken straight to the front by Adam Kirby to move on and lead. The Grey Gatsby and Al-Kazeem on the inside. They're followed by Fascinating Rock, with Parish Hall followed by Highly Toxic. Racing on down the far point of the track and Postponed. Adam Kirby leads 2 lengths to the Grey Gatsby and Ryan Moore, with Al-Kazeem, winner of this race 2 years ago, James Doyle in third, followed by Fascinating Rock and Pat Smullen 4, Highly Toxic, and Fran Berry just on the inside of Parish Hall and Kevin Manning. The 6 runners beginning now to make their way to just begin the climb up towards the top of the track. A little change, Postpone the leader from the Grey Gatsby. Al Kazeem is third, Fascinating Rock, followed by Highly Toxic, and Parish Hall is the back marker. Postpone the leader at the top of the hill from the Grey Gatsby. On the inside is Al Kazeem, closely followed by Fascinating Rock, Highly Toxic, and Parish Hall. The back marker of the 6 that are covered by less than 5 lengths. They're making the descent now to take them down towards the 5. And in front, Postpone showing the way to the Grey Gatsby. Al Kazeem is third, Fascinating Rock, Highly Toxic, and Parish Hall. So they're on the approach now for the turn into the straight, passing the 4 mark in the Tattersalls Gold Cup. And Postponed leads the Grey Gatsby. On the inside is Al Kazeem, Fascinating Rock, followed by Highly Toxic on the inside of Parish Hall. So they come off the turn now with just less than 3 to go. Postponed leading the Grey Gatsby, Al Kazeem on the inside, Fascinating Rock, Parish Hall on the outside of Highly Toxic, racing on towards the 2. Postponed still there in the lead for Adam Kirby to the Grey Gatsby in the centre of the track. Al Kazeem looking for the split between them. Fascinating Rock is down the outside, racing now to the final furlong, almost 4 in line, and Al Kazeem comes through now to join Postponed. Fascinating Rock on the near side of the Grey Gatsby. It's Al Kazeem and James Doyle in front from Fascinating Rock, and Al Kazeem, a winner 2 years ago, regains his crown and wins from very close second. Postponed and Fascinating Rock. The Grey Gatsby back in fourth.
Well, what a horse he's been, Al Kazeem. He's won a second Tattersalls Gold Cup here. Got pretty hairy there at one stage for James Doyle. He was looking for room between the 2 fellow British Raiders, Postponed and the Grey Gatsby, but he managed to get through, and in the end he's just held on from Fascinating Rock, who's run a huge race here back at Group 1 level for